Hey everybody, it's Majin Slayer here. Today I got for you guys a Duel book, high rated replay for you guys. It's going to be featuring 7 Sins Dragon Slayer with 1156 rating, going up against You Broke My Heart with 1321 rating. Remember, go ahead and check out the July_TCG Discord server. I'll leave an invite link down below in the description. Really nice place to do some remote duels, casuals, get feedback on your deck list, not just family related. And overall, I use it personally for playtesting as well. So even if you don't duel that much, it's really just a nice place to hang out, talk with some people, etc. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the replay. See a tie, and then Seven Sins Dragon Slayer win the RPS here. We're going to go ahead and see 57 versus 40. Opening hands are going to be Fire Flint Lady, Mecha Fan beats Coat Wing, Durendal, Lightning Storm, Inheritors of the Chalice. And the opening hands for Fan Night player is going to be Torn Scales, Wielder, Boots, Ash Blossom, and Joyous Spring. So they open up one going second card, as the Infernoble player opens up one going second card in the form of Lightning Storm. They're going first. Interesting how they decide to main deck a Lightning Storm when they choose to go first. But they're going to go ahead and go with the Heritage of Chalice effect, and go ahead and use Ogier effect, the Oliver, then go ahead and equip the Durendal effect, go ahead and add the Renaud, so summon out the Renaud effect, add back the Oliver, so summon out Fire Flint Lady, move 2 into the Isold effect, go ahead and add the Gearfried, then on Isold's Ignition effect, go ahead, dump 3, go ahead and summon out the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, go ahead, hit the Ash Blossom. Yeah, they should have hit the Isold. Yeah, this is a pretty good point to hit the hand trap the Infernoble deck. One of the things that makes Isold broken is that it dumps the equips for cost, so they get good resurgence out of dumping the Phoenix Blade. I actually heard some people kind of theorize as to why Warrior won't get any more good support is because of how broken Isold is. And to some extent, I can kind of see that, just because of the powerful equip spells it sets up in your graveyard for recursion. So they misplay a bit there. Something tells me it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, they have a lot of yes. One hand trap isn't enough to stop the Infernoble deck. Go to Hockey Fibrax, bring out the 001, link into a Auroradon, swing out the tokens, link the Aqua Dolphin, Auroradon token away into Power Tool Dragon effect, reveal the triple DDR. The thinking here can go ahead and use Phoenix Blade, and Isold Aqua Dolphin, add it back, then Auroradon effect, go ahead, summon out the Coat Wing effect, go ahead, bring up the tokens, 001 effect, swing itself out, go ahead, bring out the Power Tool Dragon, and this is not a hard once per turn, it's only a soft once per turn, so for every copy they have of the card, they can just keep on using it, or even if they popped it, brought it back with Monster Reborn, they can still use its effect again because it's not a hard once per turn. You go ahead, add Living Fossil to hand, go into Mega Fan to be a Straco Sack, go ahead, bring out the tokens, and 001 effect. I remember when this card was so broken back in Dragon Ruler days. I wasn't a huge player in those times. I think I was slowly grasping the game at that time because I was in middle school, I believe. But yeah, this was a really powerful card next to number 11 Big Eye as well, back in the when Dragon Ruler Spellbook were the best decks. Go ahead, synchro out into the Underworld Fighter. Then Oliver affects discard the Phoenix Blades, present itself out. Go ahead, synchro into the Shooting Riser Dragon effect. Go ahead and dump the Super Quantum Red Layer, and Draco Second effect. Go ahead, tribute itself to pop the Underworld Fighter effect. Then go ahead and bring out the Cult Wing, 001. Bring out the tokens. Go ahead and synchro those into the Roland effect. Go ahead, go into the Warlord Savage Dragon effect. The Omni Negate. Then go ahead and Fossil, bring back the 001. Go ahead, go into the Herald of Arclight to play around droplets. Then Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. I banish itself, add it back. Then DDR, go ahead, discard the Phoenix Blade, summon out the Underworld Fighter. Go ahead, synchro into the Charles. And then go ahead and see Ogier effect. Go ahead, clip to the Charles. Go ahead, add the Renaud. Charles effect. Go ahead, equip the Oliver. Equip the Durendal and pass. So they end on 2 Omni Gates as well as the non-targeting. This is non-targeting, correct? Yeah, non-targeting pop. So not bad. And Charles as well is on a hard one per turn. Yeah, a lot of the Infernoble cards, like the Power Tool Dragon, the 001. Well, not exactly a lot, but there's a decent amount that aren't hard ones per turns that you can take advantage of, as well as like the Underworld Fighter as well. So good to know that. You can go ahead, top deck into a Lightning Storm. So both have Lightning Storm in their hands. Go ahead, Lightning Storm. Go ahead, force to negate that. Basically Imper. Yeah. Yep, so normal summon out Boots. Or normal summon out Torn Scale, switch summon out the Boots. Yeah, definitely want to do that. It gives you the best recursion, opposed to normal summon out Target and get that effect negated. This gives you graveyard recursion. And go ahead, Renaud effect. And go ahead and equip it to Charles. Charles, go ahead and pop. Trying to keep them off of the Cherubini, but they have the extender. Yeah, this only makes monsters from the hand or the main deck go to graveyard. So it's not a Shin, but it's more like a Shin from like the deck to the graveyard as well as the hand to the graveyard. Then we go into Leviair here. Leviair, go ahead, attack over the Herald of the Arclight. Leviair effect, go ahead, bring out the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. Go ahead, use the effect of Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. Go ahead, get rid of the Renaud. Funny how they use their own the opponent's own Aqua Dolphin against them. Go ahead, banish the Boots, search for a Phantom Knight Sword. Go ahead, Torn Scales effect, bring yourself out. Torn Scales, discard the Sword for cost. And go ahead, dump the Ragged Gloves. Link those two off into the Cherubini. Cherubini, note for cost, Graph and Seer. And then go turn those into the Rusty Bardiche. Seer, bring out Cherubini. Rusty effect, go ahead, dump Ancient Cloak, set the Pog Blade. Go ahead, Cloak effect, search out the Shade Brigandine. Then Sword effect, go ahead and bring out the Ragged Gloves. Shade Brigandine, switch summon itself out since they have no more traps in the graveyard. Go turn the Shade Brigandine and the Ragged Gloves. Make their own ISO effect. Go ahead, add the Torn Scales. And then ISO cost effect. Dump the Living Fossil, switch summon out the Renaud effect. Go ahead and add the Living Fossil back to hand. Go ahead, Living Fossil effect, bring back the tour guide. Link those all the way into and the Charles into the Underworld Goddess. Okay, that is nice right there. Go ahead, Underworld Goddess. Go ahead, skill drain the opponent's field. Go ahead, chain Durendal right there. Durendal is going to go ahead and bring out the Renaud. But it's just you're going to go ahead and decide to negate it with the Underworld Goddess. as once per turn, when your opponent just tries to activate an effect that would special summon the monster from either graveyard, you can go ahead and negate it. Go ahead, turn the Underworld Goddess and the Cherubini into the Verti Anaconda. Verti Anaconda effect, go ahead, pay 2k. Go ahead, bring out the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. And Destroy Phoenix Enforcer effect, go to pop itself in the Auroradon and pass. Wow, so help with the Lightning Storm, they're able to set up a DPE, go into an Underworld Goddess as well, and go into the Zeus too for interruption, and they have the Fog Blade as well, and they added the Twin Skills to hand for follow-up with the Ice Soul. That was really nice, demonstrating that aside from the outside engine of the non-engine card of the Lightning Storm, I should say, that the Phantom Knight deck was able to play through that, which was really nice. And now they still control the Savage, so this is still making the Infernoble Knight players Lightning Storm dead. So they still have the Zeus board wipe and the Fog Blade, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer coming back. I'm not sure if I would have kept the. I feel like I would have kept the Underworld Goddess personally, just because, as you noticed, like the Charles doesn't target, but meanwhile Underworld Goddess needs to be specifically targeted. I don't know, I feel like Underworld, maybe I'm a little bit biased since I'm a little bit of a fan of Underworld Goddess, just because I really like using it as a card before in my old Phantom Knight deck list before Burst of Destiny, and it's come in clutch for me in so many situations, but that's just kind of my little bit biasness of the card. Go ahead and bring back a Straight Phoenix Enforcer, standby phase, and Phoenix Blade effect, go ahead, add effect to hand. Only 3 cards in the extra deck now. Equip, to Savage, and Gearfried effects, and they're just going to go ahead and meet defeat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they just didn't really have anything left in the extra deck to really put up an interruption. Yeah, they were better off popping the Torn Scales. But this goes to show on how you can punish your opponent for misplaying. We're going to go ahead and move on to game 2 now. We are going to go ahead and see Infernoble open up with Renaud, Super Quantum Red Layer, Janemba, DDR, as well as Fire Flint Lady. So we see no side deck hate from the Infernoble player side. And we're going to go ahead and see Phantom Knight player open up with Denier, Shade Brigandine, Imperm, Droll, Itelli. So only Phantom Knight need to work with the Shade Brigandine. This doesn't have any graveyard recursion, as well as the one of Destiny package brick. So damn, kind of hate to see it even when you run 57 cards, but that can also happen as well when you don't open up any Phantom Knight cards. It's because you're playing a lot of cards in your deck. Makes it harder to see a name. We're going to start off with something out the Red Layer, something out the Fire Flint Lady. Go ahead, link those two off into the Ice Soul effect. Go ahead and add. Going to go ahead and add the Gearfried on Resolution. Go ahead and use Drill Lockbird. That Ice Soul effect to dump for cost. Okay, you want to dump the Fossil DDR and the Phoenix Warrior Blade. I'm going to go ahead and switch something out the Aqua Dolphin. Phoenix Blade effect, go ahead and add it back to hands. Aqua Dolphin effect, discard the Phoenix Blade, snipe the Denier, so now that gets rid of the entire Destiny engine. I feel like you might imperm that, to be honest, because of how many cards you dedicate to the main deck and how it makes your top decking situation even worse when you're top decking into a dead card. Janemba, go ahead and almost summon himself out. And then Renaud, go ahead and switch himself out. And go ahead and add back the DDR. Go ahead, synchro those two off into the Herald of the Arclight. Link off the Ice Soul Janemba into the Krishan Hunky Fibrax. Go ahead, bring out the 001 from deck. Go ahead, turn that into the Auroradon effect. Summon out the tokens. Okay, let's say they want to hold the Imperm for the Auroradon, but that's just going to be negated by the Herald of Arclight. Go ahead, synchro into the Power Tool Dragon Auroradon effect. Go ahead, bring out the Cult Wing. Then 001 effect, bring itself out from the graveyard. Bring out Power Tool Dragon. Go ahead, go into Dracosack. Dracosack, summon out tokens. Bring back out the 001 from graveyard. Phoenix Blade, add itself back to hands. Then synchro into the Underworld Fighter. DDR, discard Phoenix Blade, bring back the Janemba. Synchro into the Roland. Then the Dracosack effects. Go ahead, tribute off the, or no, I'm sorry, destroy the Underworld Fighter, then Underworld Fighter effects. Go ahead, bring back out the Cult Wing. And tokens, bring back out the 001. Go ahead, synchro into Herald of the Arclight. Phoenix Blade, go ahead, add itself back to hands. Then DDR, discard Phoenix Blade. Synchro off into the Charles. They go off into the Warlord Savage Dragon. It's a full combo under Duel and Imperm. Nice. So, pretty much same end board as last game though, with 3 cards left in extra deck. Ends with the 2 Omni Negates. The non-targeting pop from Charles and the Dracosack. Go ahead, clip the Phoenix Blade and the Oliver to Charles. And go ahead, Italy. Then yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and defeat there. Okay, game 3, opening hands are going to be Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, Neo Space Connector, another Lightning Storm, and Fire Flint Lady. So, fortunate. They do get to see Raigeki and the Harpy's Feather Duster, so not bad. Just this is going to be dead in hand since this is a hard one to return. Then we're going to have Torn Scales, Rhoda, Seer, Silent Boots, Fogblade. So no hard going first cards. But we do get to see them open up full combo. Go ahead, start off with Rhoda. Go ahead, add the Kagamucha Knight. Summon out Torn Scales, summon out the Knight. Knight effect, go ahead, discard Fogblade, send the sword to the deck from the deck to the graveyard. So they don't want to go the route of trying to unbrick the Seer via Torn Scales discard effects. Go ahead, summon out the Boots. Link the Fan Knight monsters off into the Cherubini. Mill for cost, dump the Edge of Sabers. Okay. Yeah, so we've seen You Broke My Heart on the channel before when I showcased off the Flunderies duel, and they do play the Edge of Sabers. So they're going to use this route in order to unbrick the Graph and Seer. Or just the Seer in this. Well, I guess they don't want to actually do that. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to use the in-hand effect of Seer. I don't know. Kind of weird if you go for that line, to be honest. You already have the Kagamucha Knight though, right? So wouldn't you just want to keep the Seer in hand for follow-up? So in that way you can recycle back the Cherubini in case if they're able to break through most of your board. And that way you get good recursion with Cherubini and use it to dump something else in case if they got rid of anything from your graveyard or really eliminated your follow-up. That's what I've been noticing I like to do personally, since I'm bricking Seers a lot harder and more vulnerable to a really well-punished nib than unbricking the Graph. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. But we're going to go and see Rusty effect, dump the Ancient Cloak, and the Pogblade. Pogblade effect, bring back out the Ancient Cloak. Boots effect, go ahead, add the Shade Brigandine. Go ahead, overlay into the Leviair. Leviair effect, recycle back the Boots. Sword effect, go ahead, bring out the Ancient Cloak. Torn Skills effect, bring itself out. link those two off into the isoled effect. Go ahead, add the Ragged Gloves. Isoled effect to mill 1. Go ahead, bring out the Renaud effect. Go ahead, add back the Living Fossil. Link those two off into a deck. Okay, so they are playing the Cyclops, so we didn't see against the Flundera's matchup because it doesn't do anything against the Flundera's matchup. But here we're going to see him go for it here. We're going to use Shade Brigadine, then chain the Dagda. Go ahead, bring out the Scythe. Go ahead, go for the Edgem Sabers. Go ahead. Did they put back? I forgot actually. Oh, they put back the Ragged Gloves. Okay, my bad. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it gives you more things to dump with if you need to, with Twin Skills effect or Rusty on the follow-up. Go ahead, turn those into the Appaloosa for 4. Go ahead, Living Fossil effect, bring out the boots. Go for Break Sword, Rusty effect, pop the Break Sword. And bring out the Ancient Cloak and the boots. Go ahead, turn those into the Verte Anaconda effect. So they forgot to use Ancient Cloak effects. Let me just go ahead and make sure. Yeah. They never used Ancient Cloak effect to give the attack boost onto Rusty. I mean, it comes up sometimes, but just know that it can make the difference when it comes to like life points, especially for you guys who play in real life and you guys have like the whole time rules things with like life points and stuff. But if you're gonna bring up the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, pass ends on the Scythe Lock, Podblade, the Appaloosa, the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Do they not play Wings? I feel like if you're playing the Scythe Lock, you definitely want to play Wings, right? Yeah. They decided not to go for the Wings. Interesting. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and see the Seven Sins Dragon Slayer emit defeat there because they activate Heartbeat's Featherstorm. That's just gonna go ahead and trigger the Scythe. And then Neo Space Connector, you can just go ahead and Fog Lid. And then they have to play through Appaloosa negates, which is going to be hard for them to do. They're just getting punished hard by Scythe either way, that they're going to be locked out of extra deck. So either way, they're just losing to Scythe, which is what makes the Scythe Lock pretty broken, is that one of the biggest benefits of playing the Scythe Lock is that you don't have to side deck really cards like Solemn Judgment or like hard going first cards like Anti-Spell and stuff like that, because you're Scythe locking your opponent, right? So why does it matter if they evenly match you, or they Dark Ruler you, or they Lightning Storm you? Because you Scythe lock them, so they're not doing anything. You already established really nice follow-up through the Fusion Destiny package, and you probably have like a Torn Scales and some other name in graveyard to work with. So really, those wild cards don't do anything to you. So that's why we didn't really see any going for side deck hate from him, is what I'm guessing. But we're going to go ahead and see that duel was about an hour long. Wow, it was a fairly long duel. We mainly just got to see the Infernoble player just kind of work his way down to his 3 extra deck last remaining monsters. I've seen this Infernoble deck pop up mainly from a guy I know, Donald Keeney. If you guys saw his deck profile on the July_TCG YouTube channel. I think this deck it's pretty fun, honestly. It's a pretty rogue right now, and I feel like it gets hurt by Token Collector quite a bit, though, because everybody's just kind of main decking, or not main decking, sorry, but side decking it for the Sword Soul Tenny matchup. Not everybody, but you do see it quite a bit in people's side decks. So that's a little bit of an issue I can see that's keeping this deck rogue in check. And also, we never got to see them play the Phantom Knight engine as well. That's an engine I know that one of my buddies used to like help establish the Appaloosa, but it looks like this guy isn't running it. So interesting that What's cool about Infernobles is that they have different playstyles, just like Phantom Knights, where you can incorporate different engines. Like for Phantom Knights, there have been successful builds, like with the 60 card deck list from like JY Sharif, who had success with the Credit Plant build of the deck. Some people like to play Isold in the deck as well. It's pretty unique to see people's takes on these decks, which I always find to be really fascinating. But that's going to be it for the video. Remember, if you guys go ahead and enjoyed it, please share with your friends, leave a like, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, with that being said, you guys have a great day. Peace.